Hello, Steve. There, getting everything set up.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.
Hey, everybody, what is going on? What is going on with my camera, too? I don't know. There we go. Can you hear me okay? Hopefully, you can. Today, we are talking about paranormal stories. If you have a story you would love to share with us, make sure you either come into the chat room and you can type it there, or we can, with this link that I'm sharing right now, you can come up on panel and share your stories with us. So new and exciting things going on with Shadows of the Moons. Right now we are multicasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and my podcast, the Shadows of the Moons podcast. If you would like, my podcasters, if you would like to come over and chat with us in the chat room, head on over to YouTube, look up Shadows of the Moons channel, and come on in and chat with us over there. Unfortunately, my podcast is only 15 minutes long at this point in time. So after that, but I go for hours sometimes. How's everybody doing today? Not only that, a new thing that I'm adding is I'm trying to figure out how to set up dial in so you can call up on the phone. I think I got it set, but I'm not sure. I'm going to have to run a few more tests on that. And so you, instead of being up on panel, you can call into the show and talk that way. So, yeah, what is going on? How is everybody doing? I see Steven is in the chat room. How you doing? We'll see if a few more people come in. Would love to share their stories, paranormal stories, anything really. UFO, cryptids, if you had a Bigfoot sighting, um, or just other things that you cannot explain. Would love to have you come up and chat. Good, glad you're doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing all right today. I'm doing all right. Still getting over my sickness. So I'm gonna try to last as long as I can without coughing up a lung. Um, it seems like my throat gets really dry um when I'm talking a lot. So hopefully I'll be good with that. Hopefully. But other than that, this is the first time I've gone live since I've been sick. So hopefully, like I said, I'll be able to get through it. I know, I need some hot toddies. Yeah, it's come to that point where I've oh no, Zach. How you doing? I know. For some reason, I tried changing my stream to where it'll go to events because I like to get everything listed of what I'm going to do and everything. Um, and no matter what I try, it doesn't want to show to like I have to set it up um manually. And so I try to put the events out there so people know that I'm going to go live and everything. And I had it hooked up before where it just went into that live stream, and now it don't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But you're not the first person to tell me that. Other people have said that too. And so I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. See how I am? I like tricking everybody. But yeah, so once I get everything figured out, and I mean, I have my phone number for the dial-in show and everything. I just got to get it working right. Um, we will definitely get the ball rolling where people can call in. It is a podcast. It's part of the podcast. Right now, it's only 5 minutes long for my podcast. It can be heard on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, all the different podcasting, streaming live places out there, Apple iTunes. Yeah, so I'm getting everything situated to get it all up and running. Thank you, Zach. I try. I try. But yeah, so I've done a podcast before, and that's what I started out on, was doing podcasts, and then I moved over to YouTube. Now I want to bring it all together. So, and with the system that I use, I can take call-ins so people can call in. And yeah, so once everything gets a rolling, it's going to get a rolling. So I'm excited. I've been working on it diligently to try to get everything working and up and running. And it's funny because it's like, my hubby's like, "What are you working on?" And I'm just like, "The show." Always the show. So it's a podcast and my YouTube, of course. My YouTube comes first. I mean, I love my podcasters too. Um, yeah, YouTube podcast. There you go. There you go. But yeah, my main thing was to make sure like I have the system up and running and like let me know if you guys can hear this. Can you hear these little things? Oh, that sounds like crap. Nope, it's not going to run that good. What? Ew. What the hell? That's a little crazy. Well, I'll have to go back and check to make sure everything that sounded weird. Sounded very weird. Hello, Freaky Geek. How are you? What is going on? How are you today? Were you in the other one too? I know a lot of people. Zach just came in from the other live feed. I don't know what's going on with that. I have no clue what's going on with that. That's crazy. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out because I only have one streaming key. I don't have to change it. Time, so it should. Uh, well, I was lost in the email story. See, the thing of it is I didn't get any emails, so I'm going to read some stories off of. There's one intriguing story that I'm following on Reddit. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. That's funny. That's funny. Um, yeah, so there's a couple stories on Reddit. One I've been reading the heck out of because it's very intriguing, and I don't go on Reddit a lot because of the fact that there's a lot of rabbit holes that I can go down. And I like to steer clear of those rabbit holes, if you know what I mean, because I get lost. It's bad enough when I'm doing research for the shows. I sit there and I can read for hours about different things, and it's like, oh, I gotta focus. There's a couple of long ones. This one, the first one that I'm gonna read is just what's been going on with this person. But they're half and half. They're short ones, long ones. I'm gonna try and get through it. If it might be a little bit more short ones because of like I was explaining to Zach and Steven that this is the first live that I've done since being sick, and like I'm trying to hold in a cough right now. So we're gonna see how it goes with me telling these stories. Hi Natalie, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. How are you? But yeah, we're gonna see how it goes, and hopefully, yeah, some stories can. Hey, Outdoor Encounters, how you doing? Welcome. Paranormal is your cutoff? Oh, a cup of tea. Never mind. I'm not awake yet. See, coffee hasn't sunk in yet. Good. So I shared the link and I'll share it again if anybody would love to come up and chat about their paranormal experiences. Let me go ahead and you can come up on panel. As I was telling everybody before, I am working on getting a phone number so you guys can call in too if you don't want to come up on panel, which some don't, and I totally get that. Excuse me one minute. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Awesome outdoors encounters. That's awesome for people listening in the podcast. Outdoors encounters. I'm about to go out to a cemetery to do dowsing rods. That's awesome. I know, Freaky Geek. No problem. Hurry back, Natalie. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so today, like I said, we're doing paranormal stories. Oh, really, Freaky Geek? That's funny. That's funny. Hey, you never know, though, I guess, right? You never knew. But yeah, so this one story started, I guess, 6 days ago. And like I said, I've been reading up on it and it's pretty cool. I find that out a lot. I find that too outdoors. Um that sometimes the spirits are just in the mood to talk to you through the dowsing rods or my pendulum or anything, something, you know, not always the spirit box. Hey, see, so it was a good thing. It was a good it was a good thing that you were in the other lives because there you go. You had time to make coffee and tea or coffee and tea. Jeez. Toast and tea. That way, you know, we don't want you to be hungry. And of course, my Reddit pages are going to screw up. No, there we go. Okay. It was lying to me. So, like I said, I found this on Reddit and it was posted 6 days ago. And it seems like this person maybe it's not a movie. That's true. That's true. It might be easier at times to do the dowsing rods rather than speak through the spirit box. Yeah, see, that's the kind of questions I ask. Like, I want to know, and I'm sure, and I think I brought this up before. I want to know when I'm like doing my K2 meter and that. I'm like, I ask them questions like, now, do you have to just go by it, or do you have to walk through it to make it go, to make it light up, or or can you just think it? Like, I want to know how the dynamics work. Oh, wow, outdoors encounters. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah, see? Dowsing rods. I have mine. I have my little ones. I used to have a big set of them. I had longer ones. These are just the short ones. I did have longer ones back in when I lived in New York. That had the uh what's it called? The glow in the dark tips. Excuse me. And they worked a lot better. I'm just getting used to these ones again because I have to I have to feel that there's no when I hold them, okay? When I hold them, right? I want to make sure like I'm holding them. I'm very skeptical of myself. Let me put it that way. Does that make sense? I'm very skeptical of myself. Like, did I move that? Like with my pendulum, it's different, and it might be because I've worked with my pendulum for so long, in my witchy stuff, that it's different for me. But when I do the dowsing rods, I'm very skeptical of myself, even though these have the ends on them where you turn it, and it's just I don't know. I'm very weird, right? Is that weird? That I'm very skeptical of myself. I don't know. I guess I want to know if I'm doing it with my energy or um there you go, hold them close to your side. Yeah. See, I'm not skeptical of other people using them. I just get skeptical of myself sometimes. It's very weird. I want to know how things work. I'm very when it comes to that sort of stuff, I'm very meticulous. I want to know. Hence why I ask the questions I do to spirits. A lot of people look at me like, that's not normal questions. And it's like, I don't want to know normal things. I want to know, how does it work with their energy in the world? How does it, do they have to walk past something for it to, it's not like they have, at least in my mind, it's not like they have hands that they can brush something off with. Do you know what I mean? Yes, exactly, freaky geek. Yep, exactly. I use the rods. I would be wondering if all the time if they are level or is it I tilting them. Yes, that's exactly it. You know, I'm like, it's the feeling too. When they move, it's like, is that me moving? Make it, I mean, sometimes they go flying, obviously I know it's not me, but it's just, I've always second guessed myself. So apparently I'm going to do it with the dowsing rods too. Hey Irish, how you doing, hon? How you been? Knock on wood, so far so good. I've only had to cough once. I'm so excited that this cold may be going away. I'm so excited. I've missed you guys. I've missed talking to you guys. I'm sick of laying in bed. But yeah, it's just that's how I am with the dowsing rods. I love my dowsing rods. Don't get me wrong. I totally love them. I just it's me. I'm not skeptical of anybody else using dowsing rods. It's just how I perceive what's going on and why are they moving in my own mind with me. Yep, I've had that happen outdoors. Yep, it's like they tell you, where they are. It's pretty wild. It's like your own ghost radar. You know what I mean? Be spinning around and all of a sudden it's pointing somewhere over here or whatnot. Yeah, it's like your own ghost radar. But I have a lot of fun experimenting with dowsing rods. I really do. I like them. I've always liked dowsing rods. I want to get the old time dowsing rod, the one rod that comes down. I want to get that too. I would make it, but I don't think I would make it right. I mean, in my mind, I think I know how I'd make it, but I don't know. Nothing to be scared about outdoors. Of course, just start when I first started out. You know, I was scared of everything, and I think being in the field as long as I've, studied it and researched it, I'm more skeptical, not of people's experiences, not at all. I believe everybody that has had an experience has had an experience. Um, but I'm more skeptical of different things. I guess I go more into, again, trying to figure out why it happened like this or where, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm still scared of myself too sometimes. Definitely. Of how my mind works. It's like, can you just shut off 1 second? What are you going to do? Again, if anybody would like to come up and share a paranormal story, I will put the link in there again. Thank God I work at a hotel and know how to do that, because I wouldn't, because Restream don't let you copy and paste. So, I know the code for it now, and I'm glad I remember it. I've gotten used to it all. Spirit that did not want to leave me. I felt it's holding. I can understand that outdoors. I totally can understand that. I think it's a lot of my way of thinking. Um, don't mind Restreambot and Nightbot. Again, they like to argue with each other. No worries. Um, so yeah, a lot of my experiences, I look at things a lot of uh, differently, I should say. I look at things differently. Um, candle flames rising. I use flames as, and this is going to be weird, but this comes from the witchy side of me. When I light candles, I can tell when an energy enters my room or my area, by the candle. Yeah, exactly, freaky chat version of BattleBots. That's exactly what it is. Uh, so when candles do certain things, that's a warning to me, or they're telling me something. But that, again, a lot of that has to go on with my witchy ways. So I look at things differently than most people. Um, candle flames shooting up to some people means warning, like a scary demons in there or something. I don't know, but or a warning to them. To me, it's not. It's a different statement. Um, I look at things differently, as in, um, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Validation, I guess. You know, my K2, is that where you're asking? My K2? I got mine off of Amazon, but there's a whole different situation there. Um, because a lot of places don't ship up here. But what I was saying is, like, validation. I look for things like, for instance, um, I was having a very rough day. My father has passed on, and it was constantly on my mind all day. And this happened a couple weeks ago. I was just having a bad day. I missed my dad, and I went outside to have a cigarette, and lo and behold, somebody pulled up in a Model T. Well, my dad, as some of you know, was born in 1914. So he's an older gentleman, like I said, he's passed on when I was 18. But if for a Model T, like, you don't see them around here, at least in not this town, you know. And to me, that's validation of, hey, I'm right here with you, kiddo. I look at things like that. I'm very different when it comes to um, freaky things happening. I guess coincidences to some. Um, so yeah, So, are we ready for some stories? I'm very interested in, like I said, this one story that I started reading. Hold on, I'm gonna cough real quick so I can get through it. Okay, okay, sorry about that, guys. Um, sorry, just look down, seeing Streambot or Restream, yeah, Restreambot. But anyway, so I'm intrigued. I like I said, I picked this up on Reddit. Um, and again, let me go ahead and if you guys don't want to come up and share your story, you can always email me. I'll keep that link on there for right now. Not link, but my email address. If you would like to email me, I'll read your story and give you guys all the credit in the world, of course. It's your story. And I'd love to share them with people. I love hearing paranormal stories. And like I said, it doesn't have to be just about paranormal, it could be UFOs, cryptids, whatever. Whatever you guys would like to share with me, I will definitely gladly share with my viewers. Um, yeah. So, and people are always welcome up on my panel Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays when I do my live shows about that. And for you, those of you who are new in my stream, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do coffee and cards, which Tuesdays is tarot cards, and Thursdays is oracle cards. So, anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead and start the story. And I'm probably going to end up following the story till the end because I want to find out what plays out with it. Anyway, it says, he goes on to explain, he's like, before you read, please note there won't be any, I don't know what TL and DR mean, direct responses maybe for one, as this is a it's very specific information, and as right now I am paranoid and need answers. I live in Kentucky. It's a very backwards and rural area. And although I've lived here for a year, I'm still not used to the extreme amount of woods and isolated areas. Coming from the beaches in Florida, things are very different here, and it's still taken me a while to adapt to my surroundings. I live in my parents' house in a rural area, although it's next to a highway, it's not necessarily the most populated area. Oh, maybe that's it. That could be. It's not Although it's next to a highway, it's not necessarily the most populated area, with 2 gas stations and the dollar store. Welcome to my world. That's it for about 20 minutes in all directions. Um, Decently rural, in my opinion. Anyway, we live in an area of land about 30 yards behind the house is a large 150-acre farm belonging to a farmer. Keep in mind, we've never seen this guy before, but he does plant his plants during plant season. Hey, Nameless, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. He says, anyway, enough of this basic information. For the year we've lived up here, there has been a lot of weird shit going on. Mind you, this does have swearing in it, so, if you have virgin ears, cover your ears when you think of swear words coming. Good to hear, Nameless. For the year we lived up here, there's been a lot of weird shit going on. To name a few, there's been times when I've seen ghosts. I've heard random noises, and although aliens may not be considered paranormal, I swear to you, I've heard high-frequency noises and seen lights in the sky. We do live around 30 minutes from Fort Knox, so could be military stuff, perhaps. Now, this is where the road takes a deep turn. I, as well as my family, have noticed that none of our surrounding neighbors, about 6 of them, is out past around 9 p.m. at night. Which, I mean, that's not weird. If they're an older generation, I can understand that. He says, now I can understand that, but I mean, there's always at least a few people up and about during the night where I come from. But there's not even a single late night party or anything here. Nothing at all. These people do not come out at night. I thought it was odd at first, but I didn't pay much notice until recently. Me and a few friends would occasionally get together and go out around 1 in the morning on the back porch, and they'd smoke a little weed and stargaze and have a good time. Each time we would do that, the field 100 foot away would start rustling with noises, as if someone who was running through the underbrush. Me and my friends, higher than kites at that time, would normally laugh it off. But that was only until we heard a shrieking like noise that came from that area. Needless to say, we haven't done that ever since. That was about a month ago. Oh, great. I'm glad you're liking this. Ever since then, it's mentally screwed me up. I constantly worried that there's some type of wolf or something over there that lurks around at night. And that was my assumption until 2 nights ago. Sorry, guys. Um, 2 nights ago, I was outside about 11:18 on the spot. We have a compost bin, so after I cleaned up the kitchen, I took the scraps of food and all other shit out there. It was very dark but peaceful. I should mention now that we have a steel fence around our acre property, with the compost in the far back of the property next to the fence. The fence also has a gate on it that opens to the farm fields, but I don't know why. Anyway, as I made my way to the compost, a huge sense of unnerving feeling erupted all around me. I felt like I was being watched or stalked. It was dark as hell and I couldn't see anything. I only had enough visible light from our outdoor porch light. I dumped the scraps of food in the compost and heard the exact same rustling through the noise in the underbrush. I got ballsy here. I had a feeling that there was some jackass teen or someone trying to scare me, so I stood silent for about 20 seconds in the direction of the noise. Here's where I start to panic. I took my phone out of my pocket, shook it twice to turn the flashlight on, and it shined in the direction of the noise. Nothing really to see but bushes and soybean plants, but something odd caught my eyes. A reflection. I stood confused for a second and shined my light back over to where the reflection was. And holy fucking shit, there was maybe a 4 foot tall thing crouched in some soybean plants, and it was looking right at me with red eyes. I can't make this up, man. I have tears in my own eyes right now typing this. I'm not quite sure how I acted. I know I ran inside as fast as I could, and even though my asthma is horrible, that's the fastest I've ever ran. Needless to say, I came into my house, locked the door, and ran downstairs into the basement. My room has no windows, both a blessing and a curse, but there's no way in hell that thing was coming into my room. I passed the hell out, woke up last night about 7, missed dinner and everything else, but immediately went outside the same spot. Um, Nothing was there. I even walked into the field to see maybe when I saw was red berries or something, but nothing. After walking to the house, the next door neighbor was out. I immediately called out to him and he came over. I asked him if he's ever seen anything abnormal around here, which his reply was, everyone I know, including myself, goes inside before nightfall. There's tales of hellcats and night crawlers all around here. And with that, he went to go put his grill put out his grill and went inside. I didn't sleep much last night. Mainly, I was talking to friends about that shit, and since most of them there live near Elizabethtown, about 25 minutes away, decent sized city, they have no idea what the hell it was. Anyway, I'm lost for words at this point. If you've read this far, thank you very much for putting the time to read this. I'm very freaked out. I don't know what to do. It could have been an animal, but that thing looked nothing like an animal I've ever seen. I'm debating right now to go outside with a high beam flashlight and scan the area from my porch. But to be honest, I may shit myself this time. Please, if anyone from Kentucky can fill me in, the biggest city close to me is Louisville, and it's about an hour away for location purpose. Thank you for reading this once again. I'm freaked out now, and any help will be greatly appreciated. So that's his story. Now, he does have a YouTube. He's done some edits, and I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can check it out for yourself. So, what do you guys think? And it does have that. It does have links. It has a whole bunch of section of editing of people, asking him questions and stuff like that. So he's answering them. It's really cool. Um, but he's taken 3 videos, 2 at night and 1 during the day, of what the land looks like, what he saw. And you could tell in the video, like, he's a little freaked out. So I will definitely I'll be definitely be keeping up with this. And trying to figure out, was it a field with mirrors? But if you look when you watch the video, Freaky, he shows you, like I said, all the whole landscape, and he scopes around and shows you where everything is and where he was and where the compost is and stuff like that. So I can't wait myself to follow up with this to see if there's any more changes or whatnot. And he's not a paranormal person. Like, people are offering him suggestions, and somebody, one of his last edits was, sorry if you can hear me sniffling a little. Where is it? Somebody suggested that it was a skinwalker to see if any Native Americans lived there in past or whatnot. And he's just like, I don't even know what a skinwalker is, So I know. I hope he can get it on video too. I really do. But so, like, he's not even a paranormal person. He's not somebody that, he's just looking for answers. He's just, something really freaked him out. And so if anybody's in the Kentucky area, definitely figures my sister-in-law just moved from Kentucky. But yeah, I mean, I saw that article, and I'm definitely going to be following it, because that's amazing. I mean, I would hate to be going through something like that and be scared like he is. So what do you guys think it is? Could it be I don't think it's a ghost. I really don't think it's a ghost. I think it's more of a cryptid type thing. Right, exactly, Freaky. Skinwalker is an Indian or Indian descent who can change forms, but usually one whose birth killed the mother. Yes, definitely. See, I know what it is. But when somebody suggested it to him, he didn't know what they were. So that tells me that, and they've made other suggestions of what it could be and stuff like that, and he has no clue. So he's like not even in the paranormal community or any community like that anyway, if that makes sense. No problem. No problem whatsoever. That's why I like having these conversations. Excuse me again. Okay. Sorry, guys. Um, yeah, so he's not in any type of community that he even knows what the hell's going on. But I'm definitely going to be following that. And I put the links up there if you guys want to follow it as well. Like I said in the link, in the story itself, after all his edits and everything, he does have a link to his videos, his YouTube videos. I did see another one. So did you guys like that story or? So I did find another one that's called Three Best Friends. Hurry back, freaky. Yeah, I like hearing people's stories and especially the more creepier the better. That's how I. And again, if anybody would like to come up and they have a story to share, please feel free to let me know. And I will definitely put the link back in there. Um, or if you don't want to come up on panel, you can also, like I said, shoot me an email with a story and I will definitely, you know, let me know if you want your name not put out there. I will definitely keep it under wraps. So here we go. Three best friends. 16 years back, I used to live in my hometown, which is in India. I cannot pronounce the names, but it's in India. I started my first grade, but I have a very sharp memory. I remember almost all the events from my childhood very well, and this one particular has been imprinted in my mind. I used to live at the end of the street in a society that was largely populated. Our house was the last one, and after that, there was a huge ground that followed. So I'm thinking like an open space. Okay, I won't. I won't post your name. Um, so I'm thinking, like I said, a big area space. We had friendly neighbors, and among those was a lady called Sarla, who lived with her family that had her husband and three children. She was pretty religious and loved wearing beautiful, I don't know what they're called, the saris every day. Every evening, she used to come out of our house to chat with my mom. While all the children played in the terrace. She was very sordid, amicable, and approachable. She used to narrate a lot of funny incidents from her childhood that left everyone in splits. While she was growing up, she forged a strong friendship with two girls from her school. They hung out together all the time. so much so that their friendship transcended everything. It was a bond to die for. When the school ended and they grew up, they didn't lose contact and promised each other that they'll keep meeting and be together, even if it is in the same city. After a few years, all three of them got married in the same city. Sarla Auntie started living opposite to our house. Life was moving at a normal pace when one day news came. One of her friends committed suicide after being subjected to domestic abuse. She was very pained. She went to the funeral and came back ashen faced. After a few days, another news came. Her second friend, who was murdered by her own husband, who eloped with someone else. It was too much to take. She went to see the body one last time and held the dead hand. To her horror, she felt the fingers getting some grip over her hand. Further inspection saw her declared dead already. I don't know what that means. She went to see the body one last time and held the dead hand. To her horror, she felt the fingers getting some grip over her hand. Further inspection saw her declared dead already. Okay. Anyway, Sarla Auntie was shaken to the core. She was a religious woman, so she started tying holy threads to her wrist and starting chanting chants to ward off evil spirits every day. When asked my mom why she was so scared, "Hi, Native Granny, how you doing, hon?" When she asked my mom why she was so scared, she answered that lately she's been getting dreams that were mere voices from her friends to stay. Don't break the promise. We had the pact to stay together. Now you can't be alone there. We will get you here soon. That would freak me out. That would really freak me out. Every single day, the paranormal was palpable. She saw different signs that are considered bad omens in Hindu culture. She was physiologically exhausted with all that running in her mind. It reflected her in behavior. It was the day of a Hindu festival in which women pray for the long life of their spouses. She was pretty happy that day. She wore her favorite sari and was making a grand feast. All of us were playing from on my terrace. My uncle wasn't home. In a span of a few minutes, she came running out from the house with her sari burning rapidly. She was crying for help as it spread quickly to her whole body. She called my dad for help as nobody dared to come. My dad ran and put a blanket around her. She was quickly referred to another city in which she had 60% burns. After investigating the house, it was found that there was no way to for a fire to be in there. She was in critical condition. It was a devastating sight for a kid like me who was watching from the terrace. 1 month went by. She recovered quite well. We went to visit her. Doctors told us that she should get discharged that week. After 3 days, news came. She wasn't able to survive. She left everyone. Kids lost their mother, and it was a really bad impact on their life. A stepmother came and actually treated the kids stepmotherly. Um, and the consequence is one disappeared after a heartbreak. Um, so she's wondering, I wonder what led to all this. Was it supernatural elements that did all these, or just a psychological toll on the person that made her paranoid and drove her over the edge? I think that has a lot to do with things. When somebody is paranoid over certain things, it's almost like, I don't know about you, but when I'm upset, I try not to get upset. When I get upset and I'm mad and I'm frustrated, that frustrated feeling, I tend to knock over things. I tend to, yeah, knock over things and like spill my coffee or knock things off the table because I'm frustrated and it gets me more frustrated when it happens, right? So I could see that's why I hate fear mongering. I hate it with a passion. Um, when you're paranoid about certain things, it's going to seem more active in that paranoia, if that makes sense at all. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so me, it's going to make it more paranormal, the paranoia grow, per se. And this is just my experience, my opinion. Nobody's got to side with me if you don't want to. But that's just how I feel things. Kind of like if I get too frustrated, electronics start shutting down, which gets me even more frustrated because I'm trying to do work. But I think it's how, at least the way I think, is what we're putting out there is gonna, you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the law of attraction, but I'm not one that sits there and puts it on everybody. Um, not that those people are bad, but damn it. Sorry, guys. Um, but I don't even know where I was going with that. Welcome back, Freaky Geek. Oh, thank you, Nameless. Thank you so much, hon. I appreciate that a lot. I really do. Um, but yeah, it's just I just feel whatever you put out there, if you're feeling a certain way, it's gonna affect you all day, if that makes sense. Hey, David, how you doing? How you been? You're very welcome, Freaky Geek. Um, so that's why, like, when people ask for tarot readings or whatnot, I will never ever answer when am I gonna die or anything. I'm not gonna say stupid, but you know, you just can't. You don't mess with stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because that little thing in your mind you think about can grow. You know, just I don't know. It's just my take on it. Again, if anybody has any paranormal stories they'd like to share and want to come up on panel or type in chat, please feel free to. Or again, if you would like to email me a story, I will definitely share it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, David. That's hard. Oh, I'm doing good. Getting over a cold, but I'm doing good. I'm doing better. Yeah, so sorry for your loss. It's tough. Definitely. Let me go to this other site that I had where it's got a little bit more shorter stories. Just so my voice, you know, not my voice, but um my cough will calm down a little bit. Oh, I'm so sorry, David. I'm so sorry. So the first one is, let's see. These, like I said, these are a little bit shorter. Anybody new to my chat, don't mind Restream and Nightbot. They like to argue with each other. Let's see. So it says, a long story short, multiple people who are not friends with one another have been in my house and seen a woman in a blue dress, and then told me about it later. I don't tell anyone else about it, not even my husband, because it doesn't bother anything. No big deal, right? Anywho, I myself have seen her twice. The first time I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw her leaning over my baby's crib. I immediately sat up and she just faded away. I felt crazy because I didn't know anyone else had seen her at the time. The next day I went to Walmart and some lady walks up to me, I don't know who she is, and says she likes the baby. I stopped and I asked, "What did you say?" She said, "The woman in your house. She likes the baby." Low key, peed my pants and ran home. What would you guys do if something like that happened? That would be freaky for somebody to come up just out of the blue. She likes the baby. So does that mean that that spirit of the lady in the blue is following her around, hoping that somebody will be able to hear her and tell her? Another one is, when I was a little kid, my father used to take me and my two sisters to a railroad museum in my city. Sorry, guys. We loved it, but he suddenly stopped taking us there. Years later, I was told why. Every single time that my father took photos of us there, a strange face appeared up on my little sister, and he got scared and never brought us there again. Right, Freaky? While you wet your pants. I know, right? Me too. I'd be the same way. Be like, she who? Who are you talking to? Why is she liking my baby? Who is she? All the while, yeah, pissing myself as well. Is Restream bot? You scare me. That's a weird thing to say from a bot. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, so if I was that parent, I probably would have stopped a long time ago too. Taking my kids there. Every time you take a picture there, I don't know. I'm a hypocrite when it comes to paranormal stuff. Some things would I put myself in their shoes and I'd be like, yeah, I'd be freaked out. But then I'm like, I'd go investigate it. So I'm telling you, I'm calling myself out. I guess it's different situations. Okay, so here we go. What do you guys think about spirits? I mean, obviously, um, some of you believe that spirits can inhabit things. You know what I mean? Um, so this story has to do with a couch. Do you think ghosts can inhabit a couch? Really got to work on that. Since first night in my first apartment, I didn't have a bed, so I slept on the couch in the living room. Had a nightmare that someone with a knife was going down the hallway. Just as they got to the living room, I woke up. I jumped in my car and spent one more night at my parents'. 2 months later, my roommate falls asleep on the same couch. Next morning, he tells me about a dream he had about a guy coming down the hallway with a knife. And just as he got to that living room, my roommate woke up. A few months later, a friend asked if he can crash for the night. Sure, he could sleep on the couch. Next morning, he says he has a weird dream. I said, guy coming down the hallway with a knife. My roommate added, you woke up just as he got to the living room. My friend went palest shade of white I've ever seen. Now, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that could, I mean, I'm not doubting anybody. But that would be freaky. That would be freaky to me. That would be totally freaky to me. What do you guys think? Am I blacking out again? Not blacking out, but I mean my screen. Sorry. Happy birthday, Zach. Happy birthday. No, I'm not singing. Happy birthday, Zach. That's what I'm thinking, freaky. That's what I'm thinking. They all had, yeah, they were seeing a past memory or something. Okay, there was a blip. Happy birthday, Zach. I hope you have an awesome, and I sat there and I saw you post on Twitter last night, and I was like, I remember saying to myself, I got to remember that. And I didn't. I'm so sorry. It's because it was right before I went to bed. But I hope you have an amazing birthday. That's awesome. And if my YouTube chat would hurry up and it's not going to let me post the emojis. It's being a jerk. I have such problems with trying to post emojis to people. That's why when you guys see me in different rooms, I'm always doing the smiley face or the heart. Those are the two that I know by heart. Because the emojis don't like to pull up on the chat. So, hey, Skooks. Did I say that right? Strange World, how are you doing? Right, David? Yeah, I know. It kind of makes you think, can that possibly, like, are they sharing the same, like Freaky said, are they sharing the same, like, a memory? Here, good to hear. But yeah, that's not right there. I love hearing all about. I'll give you an example. Spirit Box and K2 and everything like that. Um okay. um like I do it by myself and like I might hear things on the SB7, but I really like if I do it by myself, the K2 meter might blip every once in a while. Do you know what I mean? When I do my lives, it'll light up on command. And I think Zach's been here and even Steven maybe for where it's seen. I know Patrick was in my live stream and diary when it would light up on command. And it's like, so it's like, is that everybody consciously making it happen? And if that, then why the hell won't it light up for me? Asking its questions. I mean, it did at one point, don't get me wrong, but that was with me and my husband asking. Like, I will, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain how I feel. Right, freaky? There you go. Be like, no, I don't want you in my. I like the loneliness. I like being alone. Don't come visit me. Yes, the Matrix theory. Yeah, I'm telling you, I have so many thoughts about that stuff. You know, am I buffering? Like, I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden, let's see, what's that? Okay. Mandela effect. Yes, I am Mandela affected myself. I love the Mandela effect. I love like, being like, whoa. I mean, there's some things that I can explain to myself about the Mandela. Like, I'm not like totally 100% sold on the Mandela effect, but I'm there's enough evidence there to keep me right on that sense. It is, especially the first time, like I said, the first time I've had it loop back and forth. Like with the whole Fruit Loops thing, it went from Fruit Froot of when I was a kid to fruit, the actual spelling of fruit, back to. And I remember my husband bringing a box home because we ever once in a while have a kid's cereal, and I'm like, when did they start making it with It never used to be that way, and then it went back to Froot. That freaks me out. I'm like, and my husband don't remember me even saying about Fruit. And it's like, that's weird. Okay, thank you, Freaky. Yeah. Thank you, Zach, for letting me know. But there's no copy of it, Freaky Geek. There's no, like, usually when companies do that, they do a little script about it or whatnot, and there's nothing there. I researched that just because I was like so thrown. I mean, Mandela effect, I can understand some things happening, but that threw me for like a loop, a fruit loop at that. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to freeze up. So hold on, I'm going to hopefully this works. Um yeah, exactly. It's there's enough there to keep me on that fence. That would freak me out if I had a scar that changed. That would freak me out. Let's see. Hopefully that works. Yeah, that looks better. That looks a lot better. Good. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. You know how it is. You know how I am with technology. Right. Yeah, it's hard to deny. It is. Right, freaky. See, I don't remember that, but I do. It was in one of my Mandela effects. Right, David? Right? Weird, right? When you hear about it, is like, oh man. I'm telling you. That I'm starting to get in that about the different word changes and everything. Like I'm diving deeper into it. The one that got me, like, I'm not a big Bible person. I was brought up Episcopalian. Um, sorry, I have to think about it because we were never really religious, but I have to think of what church we went to because I want to keep wanting to say Protestant, but I know that's not it. Um, so I was never really brought up. I mean, some of my family was religious, but my parents weren't really religious. Um, and but I do remember the one that got me in the Bible was the whole Lord's Prayer. It's not trespasses anymore. It's debtors or trespassers. That I mean, I'm not a big Bible person, so and I know there's been a lot of changes in Bibles, but that could be rewritten. That's just my way of thinking, but I don't know. But I know damn well that the Lord's prayers forgive me for my trespasses. And we even it's so funny because living in a hotel, all hotels have holy Bibles in them. We went over our Bible hasn't been touched out of our nightstand. We went over, me and my husband went over, grabbed the Bible, and I went down through it and looked for the Lord's Prayer, and sure enough, it was changed to debtors. I'm like, forgive me for my debts. Yeah. Yes, and that was the Lion and the Lamb, right? See, I'm not really big. Yeah, go check your Bible, David. I swear to God. It's just very weird stuff when it comes to things like that. For years, I mean, like I said, I've never been a big religious person, but I know the Lord's Prayer. I've heard it enough. We've all heard it enough, growing up in an older generation. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. Yeah. Well, we know money is God here. It's true. It's true. But yeah, the wolf and the lion. But it doesn't make sense to me. I grew up with forgive us for our trespasses, you know. That's how I grew up knowing it. Again, like I said, I'm not a big religious person, but that's how I always know. I mean, I went to Bible school when I was younger for like a summer, but other than that, I went to church with my sister-in-law and other people, but hey, what the paranormal? How you doing, hon? Aw, thank you so much. I was lurking in a couple of your streams. Thank you so much for coming in, hon. No, it means a lot to me. It really does. I hope all is well with you guys. But yeah, there is so many like Mandela effect changes that it makes you question things. It definitely does. And that's why like I said, I'm still on the fence about it, but it keeps me right there on that fence. Excuse me a minute, I got a cough again. Sorry guys. Okay. I thank you guys for hanging out with me and putting up with my coughing and everything. I'm so glad to be back. I think it was Wednesday that I didn't do any recordings. I just started, it's my husband's fault. He got me sick. And then after I get sick, he tells me, don't sleep towards me and blow your sickness in my face. I'm like, you know what? Well, David, the thing with it is, if you look at it now, yeah, I don't understand it either. But some of the things they do say make sense, and I can see I can understand what they're trying to portray. Is that we live in a um dome. It's not that the Earth is flat per se, but we live in a dome, and like we really can't go like out. Like they compare it to, at least I've heard it this way. They compare it to, if you look at the galaxy, what is it? It's a spiral, but it's flat. Okay. So why is it that everything else looks like circular, I guess? Right? Yeah, there you go. Flat Earth is a Mandela effect. Yeah, no, because he'll either end up kicking me or I'll kick him, freaky. Thank you guys. Yeah, I feel a hell of a lot better. It's just getting rid of this dry, hacky, that feeling you get where you got to cough at every sentence. But yeah, I mean, some of their points I get, and I can, like I said, I understand their idea of it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Like I said, it's not flat per se. It's just a dome. There's a dome. You could have. It's getting the end of season. Thank God. People need to go. It's getting the end, so you were all like, just go. Can it be the end of August? The last couple weeks or first weeks in September? Right. Yeah, exactly. You never know. I think about that stuff all the time. That it might be a simulation. And I thought that years ago when playing Sims. I'm like, what if I think that's what started it all. Playing that Sims game started it all. Oh, getting some possum, huh? I'm telling you, when I started playing that Sims game, I remember sitting there thinking, what if somebody's doing this to us? I always sit there and thought about that. What if somebody's controlling me? Or, you know what else? And this is going to make me sound very dorky. But, and this is almost how I find things. And this is very weird. This is how I remember where things are. Say you're looking for your car keys, right? And then you're looking around and you can't find them. When I go out of a room, if I can't find them in this room, and it's like you got that gnawing effect that I know I set them down here. When I walk into the room, I think about a camera literally zooming in, like in the movies, zooming in on the car keys. If that's weird. The only time I play Sims is when I can cheat and have all the money in the world and buy everything. Right? I hear you. Yes. Prettier in your body. Hello. Oh no. All right, hold on. Let me see. Just my video. Can you still hear me okay? Okay. Okay. All right, good. But yeah, I mean, awesome. Okay. Guild Wars, I've never got into that. I'm a big I play some video games, but they got to be the right games. I'm a big BattleNet person. I like my Hearthstone, and I like my what's the other one? Heroes of the Storm. Freaky. Wind comes from holes in the ground in the wood. Really? What made you think of that, Stephen? What made you think like that? You just, or it's something you just thought? I mean, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. I mean, when I was younger, I thought clouds were made by smokestacks. But that's an interesting one. Now you might hear people. I hear people walking and talking. That's an interesting way to look at things, like something specific. But over there, Stephen, you guys have the breathing land, right? The breathing mountain or woods or whatnot. Hey, it could be caves belching. Never know. That's pretty cool, though. That's definitely pretty cool. I like that. I like see it's unique ways of thinking like that. I love that sort of thing. So yeah, new things for the channel and people that's been here have heard. Um, yeah, it is a creative mind way of thinking. That's pretty cool. So with my whole Mondays, Wednesdays, everybody's always able to come up on panel and talk about, whatever we're talking about. Like today with if anybody had a paranormal story, they wanted to come up and on panel and talk about it. They were more than welcome. Um, Paranormal news or freaky news Friday. If you have a news story that you think is odd or whatnot, always definitely can come up on panel and talk about it. I'm trying to get a phone number. I do have a phone number. I just have to wait to test it out and everything. To where you can now dial up and call in instead of coming up. Some people don't want to come up on panel, which is totally understandable. I get it. I totally get it. So there's going to be a phone number that you can call if you want to call in. Um, I forgot what else. Wow, really? You must be like a really creative person, Stephen. I mean, to think that's wild. Um, what started me? Well, David, when I was younger, when I was like 15 or 16, I was more on the 15 side. I was younger. It could have even been 14. I've always been a nature person. I've always been drawn to nature and sitting outside, and I felt like I was connected to the world. Um, and really paranormal, I just really was interested in it. Um, and then when like my first real experience, I mean, I had some. I mean, I played with the Ouija boards. I had always talked to candles, always talked to the earth, always talked to trees. I mean, I was a very wild child. And so I've always been off, I guess you could say, like other people would think it would be off. Or I would be off. I just always felt a connection, like there was something more. And I think that's why my parents didn't push like religion on me because they just knew I was off. Um, but my true first true paranormal experience came with my father passing. Um, and that was, I was sitting on the couch, nobody else was home, or my mom, well, I shouldn't say nobody else, it was me and my mom. My mom was out somewhere, probably bingo or something. And I remember sitting on the couch watching TV. It was warm out. My dad actually was buried on April Fool's Day. Another explanation of how my family works. Um, but he passed away March 29th. And so it was fairly warm. I was sitting there watching TV and a cold breeze went by me, and it was enough of a breeze where the lamp next to me on the night, or on the couch stand, I don't know, I can't remember what the hell it's called, but there was a lamp anyway, and it shook the lampshade. And I remember feeling it, and I wasn't freaked out. Like back then, I would have been freaked out. Like I would have ran. Okay. But I remember feeling peace and feeling calm. And I remember looking over at the lampshade, feeling this cool, look over at the lampshade and go, Dad, is that you? And it stopped. And the coldness went away and everything. And that's what really welcome back, Natalie. What really made me seriously, that was, I wanted to connect with the afterlife. I wanted to know what it was all about. I wanted to, how did they come back? You know, very cool, Natalie. Very cool. But yeah, that really is what started me. Give me 1 second. See, I talk. Okay. But, so yeah, a male spirit. Yeah, I've seen spirits, definitely. I've seen male spirits. I've seen female spirits. My old apartment was haunted, and they were in period clothes. Yeah, male and female walked right out of the wall, through my kitchen, disappeared wherever they went. Yeah, so I've seen many spirits. Um, Something inside me just wants to. I said that and I thought of the alien. How my mind works. Um, no, and that could, you know what, David? That's the thing too. Is, and I think that's why I hate fear mongering. It's because of the fact that I've done everything that people tell you not to do. Like and maybe it's in my own weird way that I want validation, but I've played with the Ouija boards. I've summoned stuff that I shouldn't have, but I've never had an effect from it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people don't have effects, because I believe they have effects. But I think it all has to do with our belief system. I think it all has to do with how we perceive things. I look at it from such a different angle, and it's so hard to explain. I believe when people have experiences, they really have experiences. There's no doubt there. No doubt whatsoever. But I think that's hence why I was talking about the K2 going off. I believe it's our combined, why when I go live and do the SB7 box and the K2, our combined conscious is what's making those things go off. Somehow, um, But I believe some of that has to do with the spirit world too. If that makes so much sense. I don't know. There's so much. There's a lot to think about. Right. But I hate the people that there's so much fear in the world, okay? And I don't like, obviously, I've said it, fear mongering. And I don't like people that sit there and don't know the whole facts of everything that goes on and are like, oh, it's a demon. You got a demon in your house. So this person's freaking out. And it's not really a demon, it's just something going on in the house that can't be explained at the moment, but it's not trying to hurt them. Do you know what I mean? I'm just, yeah. Sorry, guys, I couldn't hide that enough. Passway, but no physical. Okay, so you might have, but are you, David, have you always been interested in the paranormal? Yeah, that would be freaky, definitely. Oh, you were, okay. Yes, called coincidences, definitely. Definitely. And believe me, my thoughts are my thoughts. I'm not putting anybody down, or I would never do that at all. Um, they're just, it's how I perceive things. Yeah, that's exactly, Natalie. I totally agree with you. I'd rather deal with the dead sometimes than the living. Okay, okay. Understandable. Something peaked in you that, you know what I mean? Um, it's kind of like that whole parent instinct, like you know when something's wrong with your kid or your fur baby even. Like you just know something's wrong. Like that's got to come from somewhere. Red flags. Like I mean, I'm an empathic. I'm an empath, and I'm clear cognizance and clear sentient, and so I have the gift of I feel things and I just know things and I don't know how I know things, but they're spot on and it's just weird. But so it's kind of like stuff like that. You just it's got to come from somewhere, if that makes sense. Yeah, and it does. And I'm not. Let me tell you something. I will say, if any investigators say that they're not scared, that's bullshit in my eyes because I don't scare easily. But I'm not going to sit there and say I've never been scared because oh hell yeah, I've been scared. There's been things that made well, there's been things that make me jump all the time anyway. But there's been stuff that's I've had happen that's made me, yelp a little bit. Exactly, Natalie. That's, yep, I've heard that. No, if you've ever read Kim Harrison, you know, her biggest thing is a half demon. Sorry. No, I mean, there's some things that, you know. Now, David, you believe in Bigfoot? For reals? Or as me, my hubby say, for realsies? Yep. And it all, to me, Natalie, it all stems on what people. Yes, I do defend. I know I definitely do defend. Okay, gotcha. That's kind of how I am, right? Kind of how I am. But it's kind of like this. Let me show you something. Maybe if you hear a big crash, I knocked everything down. I'm trying to grab at least one of my rings. See if I grabbed any of the right rings. No, no, of course not. Why would I? Okay, you're right there. Come here. Which one's this? Hold on, I gotta think. Damn it, I gotta pull it up. I can't remember. So I have these rings, right? Hopefully, don't freeze me up too much. Okay, I'm still moving. That's good. So I have this ring. This one, let's see, I gotta find the right one. It's not that one. Is this my pawn ring? Oh, it might be. Yes, it is. Okay. So the power, what I'm talking about, the power of things. I have this ring. Okay. Nothing big, nothing fancy. But this is a protector ring. Okay. It's protected as in it's embedded with the energy of what's called a fawn, which is a half man, half goat. It's kind of like Pan, if you know who Pan is. Very outdoorsy, earthy. And whenever I'm getting, and I have one that has a fairy queen. I have one that has a spirit of a water entity. Um, I have two entities. I have one of a jinn. Okay, and it is a big ring. It is. Um, but he protects like the outdoors and everything like that. And if I need to feel a little protected, I will wear those. Or again, as some of you might have seen, I have Scullies that are my protectors. My little ones. Well, I have a bunch of little ones, but I mean, I have like 12 of them. You can't really, I don't know if you can see them. But um, the thing with salt is, I mean, it is a great, but it gets all over. I don't, excuse me, sorry guys. I don't use salt. Um, I just call my spirit guides. I call my protectors. They know who they are. My skulls. Damn it. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. That was a big one wanting to come through. Um, they are my protectors. My scullies will turn different ways. Because even if I wish I could show you, but even if I beat on the table, they don't move. But they will all face like one way, and I know something's over there that they're not liking so much. Call me crazy, I don't care. Um, that's who I know what it is. They all have different personalities, Like this one, she's my biggest one. She is like an old hag, okay? She reminds me, her personalities, if you guys have ever seen the movie Practical Magic, her energy reminds me of like how the ants interact with, or the aunts interact um with people in that. That's how she feels. Like she's very knowledgeable, but she's also a smartass. All the smartasses come to me. Let's see. See, people say, I have my third eye. My third eye is open. It's been open a long time, a long time. You got to remember, I've had out of body experience, I've had a near death experience, and I've astral traveled. So nothing like really, really scares me, and I've never had anything bad per se happen to me, and it's not that I don't. Um, hello, hello. It's not that um how do I say this? It's not that I don't believe bad things happened and stuff. I just look at things differently. Um, I've never really had anything bad happen to me, and I think that's because I'm well protected. So I'm very same here. Um, see, I drew you here. See, so it's smart asses. I'm telling you, smart butt. Um, but I'm just trying to think of how to word it, and I don't know exactly how to word it. I heard back, Steven. Sorry. I'm not worried about anybody hurting me. I'll just put it that way. And apparently, I don't know. It's just you know, yeah. It's just one of those things. If I feel that I need protection, I will call about protection. And I've had those feelings. You know what I mean? I've had those feelings, but it's nothing. It's nothing like I've never been hurt, never been scratched, never been. And I'm not saying that those things happen or don't happen. I'm just saying, in my reality, they don't happen. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I hope I'm not sounding like an asshole because I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. It is dying. You know what I wish for, Natalie, really? You know what I wish for? I wish there was more elders in the world that come forward and talk. I really do. That's what I miss. And see, the whole nature thing, when I grew up being in nature, I was so drawn to nature all my life. I didn't realize or I didn't know until I was like 24 that I'm Native American. I had no clue. No clue whatsoever until one of my cousins said, "Do you know where, you know why you're like that?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "You're Native American." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, we're Seneca." Show me the paperwork and everything. I was like, "Oh, okay, makes sense." Right, Natalie. Yes, and that's what's sad. You are exactly right. It's sad that you cannot find people to pass your rituals on to. It really is. Yeah, it's not new age. I agree. I agree. Totally. I was in my 30s, found I'm Is that an Indian? See, I don't mean to. See, this is the other thing that I hate too, is because I hate. I'm not politically correct at all. Is that Native American or Indian or what? Freaky? Okay. Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay. I'm Seneca, which is East Coast, I guess. That's why when I moved up here to Alaska, because there's a lot of natives here, obviously, um, I was very scared that like I didn't know if they were against like other cultures of Indians. I didn't know. I mean, that's how my brain thinks. You know, we all broke it. It's my take on it. We all broke it, you know. But it's all different in what you believe in, or what you're brought up to believe in, or whatnot. Like my kids, I don't force anything on them. They know I'm a witch. They'll ask, or they'll tell. They'll ask their little things. I smelled a big whiff of pot. I know that much. Um, um, my kids like they know certain things. Like I think today he would never admit it, but my 22-year-old still asks trees if he could take leaves off of them before he pulls a leaf off a tree. He probably won't admit that, but uh, as far as you know, my daughter, my youngest daughter, she can do candle magic. She knows what candle magic is. She can make a flame dance better than I can at times. Um, yeah, we call it pot here. Well, I'm a witch. I'm actually what I am is an eclectic grace solitary witch. Um, so I've been called others too with the B word. Um, my husband he loves announcing to people that I'm a witch. I don't know why, but oh yeah, she's a witch. And they half the time they think he's really calling me a bitch, which I am too. But you know, what can I say? But yeah, my kids they grew up having resources with my books, and whether it be my book of shadows or whatnot. Um, yes, it does smell very badly, Stephen. but but yeah, they grew up. They had my knowledge. They know what I do. They know who I am, and it's up to them whether they want to follow in that religion. Their father is Christian. You know, my oldest daughter is atheist. Uh, my son and my youngest daughter, I think Ryan's more like me, where he just watches and learns a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things, religious wise. And that's what I started doing as a young age. Well, we do have skunk weed. It's not very good weed. Is that what you call it over there? It's not pot or it's not weed. It's just skunk. That's pretty cool to know. I never knew that. Yeah, I mean, to my kids, it's their decision. It's not my decision to put it on it. I think that's what my parents installed in me. You know, it's like I have my knowledge of what I need to know when I need to know it, and you know, If I need to find something, I'll look it up on the internet because that's what Google's for. No, but all right, guys. I think it's about time. I'm getting loopy, obviously. I think I did pretty good today with coughing, though. Hopefully, I'm sorry. I have witch tidbits on here, from other people that I like to save. Um, I was actually gonna do all that. See, I don't use materials like normal witches do. I mean, I use herbs and oils and stuff, but I don't like go all out. I do what I need to do, and then that's it. If that makes sense. Um, have a good day, Freaky Geek. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all you guys. Let's see. Let's give some shout outs here. That's not what I want. What is it I want? I forgot what I. There we go. No, that's not what I want either. I know. I'm so happy you got to make a live. Making a couple of them. That's pretty awesome. I'm so excited to have you back in my chat room. I love it when you come in. Um, Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Scope. Thank you, Natalie. David. What the Paranormal. Who else came in? A lot of people, and I appreciate Irish. Native Granny. Sorry. I don't know where I was going with that. All you guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming in and saying hi and hanging out with me. I hope you like the stories I shared. And I've had a lot of fun today. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, that's okay, Stephen. I'm getting there. I'm gonna be 46 this year, so I'm getting there. I suffer from CRS. So, I thought I heard the door, but apparently I didn't. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you all have such an awesome day today. Well, it's probably like 4 o'clock your guys' time, some of you. Yeah, I love chatting with all you guys too. Thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out with me. And hopefully you'll be here tomorrow for coffee and cards. We'll do some tarot. I'm so happy I'm better now, and I can get through almost the whole thing without coughing here and there. Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing people. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love